Hey guys, welcome back to the latest episode of the Growing a Dental Practice podcast. I am your host, Mike Hennon, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Hazel Woodward.
I'm not going to do whoop whoop this time. I'm going to go, hey!
Well, you still whooped anyway.
I know.
So you guys, you're with us for an episode. This is an episode where we're going to talk about social media. But before we do that, I just want to talk about kind of like a story, an observation that I've noticed. So I've known Hazel for multiple years now. She's at the forefront of social media in dentistry. What I've noticed though over the years that I've known you, Hazel, is the shift in awareness that dentists and dental practices have around social media. So going back a couple of years, when we went to these events, the sort of conventions and stuff, a lot of dentists would rock up and say, what is social media? Or, why do I need it for my practice? Whereas now, like a couple of years later, they're kind of clued in on what social media is. They know it's important, and now they're kind of bringing up other barriers, or they're coming up with maybe like an internal objection they have to social media. And one of them was, and I noticed this at the last event we attended together in March, was that instead of saying like, why social media, why do I need it? They were saying like, content creation, like it takes a long time. Like, do you do it? That kind of thing. So let's talk about that, Hazel. Like, what would be if I rocked up to you and said, I know I need social media, but content creation takes a long time. Like, what would you say to me?
That's a really cool observation, because obviously we talked about this a lot at the event, and we've done a number of events now. Over the years, we've seen like the conversation change in exactly the way that you've explained. And I think now it's really important that marketing agencies recognise the pain points of practice owners. And if you think about, they're very busy, the staff that they have in the dental practice might not even be on social media. They might not know what type of content to create, never mind how many hashtags or which hashtags to use or how to write a decent caption, because you have to be, video editor, graphic designer, copywriter, all in one. So the barrier or the internal objection could be that, I just don't have the skill set to be able to do it, or I don't have anyone in the practice who wants to do it. So that's why we have kind of honed our internal process, and we pride ourselves. And when I say this to potential clients and new clients that come on, they're always like, really? That it? But we pride ourselves in, we can get your social media done, and all we need from you is 10 minutes a week. Just 10 minutes. It's super easy.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so like they say, like they either don't have the skills internally, or they just at the time. A practice owner doesn't want to be doing it. They might be lucky and have like a Gen Z dental nurse and that loves doing it, but most of the time that's not always the case.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just that though. I think sometimes it can be quite disjointed. And I had this conversation with a prospect on Friday, that you work with one marketing agency who does your SEO and your website, and then you've got another marketing agency who perhaps does your organic or your paid ads, and then the practice owner, they kind of have their marketing strategy and their goals that they want to achieve that year, but sometimes it can feel really disjointed. So it's like, so I always say to my clients, if you've got an SEO report, or you've got open days or marketing objectives that you're trying to work towards, if you share that with us, then we can make sure that we're kind of joining up and we're all kind of working along the same path. And the example that I said on Friday was, if you're trying to promote dental implants, but your keywords for your dental implants aren't hitting for your SEO, then obviously you need to have a conversation with that agency to make sure that they're kind of dialing in on there. And then we can also help work towards that by making sure that the keywords that they're targeting for SEO, we're doing the same in social media. So they kind of work together rather than work against each other, which sometimes when you've got someone in the practice who doesn't have that kind of high level vision, they just go, okay, what am I going to put on today? Okay, well, it's so-and-so's birthday, take a picture and whack it on social media, done and dusted. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's great if you're just starting out, but actually a lot of forward thinking progressive practices are now starting to think, okay, how can I join all of this up? And that's where we kind of excel, because we have that experience.
Yeah, fantastic. And so you mentioned, and I think it's a great USP. And so for anyone listening, USP means unique selling point. You should have a unique selling point for your practice, not just quality dental care, just putting that out there. But you mentioned, your USP is, your content in as little as 10 minutes a week. Kind of explain the process, or how you make that work from your side, and what is required from the practice to make it sort of 10 minutes or less.
Yeah, so we've actually just refined it over the last few weeks as well, so we've made it even easier. So every client who signs up with us gets a free content pack, which is a tripod and ring light, and then we give them we have it as a free download at the moment, but 365 reels prompts. So it's basically you've got enough prompts to record a reel a day for an entire year. So they get that. And then in terms of like what we ask them to create is, we will work with them and find out what it is that they're trying to achieve that month or that quarter. We'll go away and do the content strategy and write all of like the content, and then we'll identify what the gaps are. So for example, if we need a before and after case, or we need a smile reveal video, we will send usually a WhatsApp, because everyone has WhatsApp these days, into our WhatsApp channel chat, and we'll say, okay, this week we need one before and after, one smile reveal, and one picture of meet the team. So it's like 3 very clear pieces of content. And then if the practice says, okay, we've actually got half an hour, so we say, right, okay, well, we need all of this content for the month, and you're done and dusted for the whole month, and then we'll finish everything off, and we'll catch up with you in, say, 3 weeks' time. So it's very easy. We've tried to make it as streamlined and as easy as possible, because practices are very busy. They're not experts. We're experts, and we've got the processes in place to be able to turn like raw edits into polished content for social media.
Yeah, fantastic. So that's obviously how you're making it easy for them. What would you say to anyone that was like, I just want you to do it, I don't want to provide you any content? Like, what are the benefits of the practice providing content to you, even if it's only like a few reels here or there?
So the biggest objection that we get is that no one in the practice feels comfortable being on camera. And it's like, I get it. I totally understand it. Like when I'm quite a confident person, but even when I look at myself on camera, I'm like, oh my God, I hate it. And it does take a while to get used to it. And then eventually you're just like, oh, I don't care, it's fine. So we always say to them, if you can't be on camera, or there's no one who feels comfortable to be on camera, then you can do over the shoulder kind of imageries and shots and things like that. Or you could do first person walkthroughs on the practice. So there are things that we can give you ideas to be able to capture that type of content without having someone on camera. If a practice says to us, we haven't got time to do that, we are super busy, then we are toying with the idea of introducing a content day, where we will send a team to the practice to capture that content for them, to repurpose it or to use it onto their social media. That's something, if there is demand, we will do on like an ad hoc basis. Other than that, we will say, okay, well, if you've got excellent images on your website, because a lot of the times when practices are having new websites built, they will make the effort and have a photographer in or a videographer to capture that content, to personalize the website. So we'll say, okay, we can use that content. And then if they say, or the website doesn't have that kind of content on and they just want to use stock photos, we would basically say to them, whilst yes, we can do that, your account isn't going to get the same kind of traction versus maybe a competitor who is doing that, and these are the reasons why, and this is what we can do to help you kind of get over those fears. And 9 times out of 10 practices will go, okay, yeah, come on, if our competitors are doing it, we need to be doing it too, and that's enough of a motivation for them to do it.
Yeah, perfect. That's the kind of thing I was expecting to say. It's that, we can use stock photos, but social media is a personal platform. It's like I know when you scroll through TikTok and you get suddenly a very polished ad, you instantly disengage. So like stock photos would have the same effect. And you really just want to convey the personality and the people in the practice and stuff like that. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a photographer friend and she has an unpopular opinion. She actually says that stock photos actually damage your brand more than helping it. And for me, that's really true, because I don't know about you, like I see lots of practices using the same stock photos, usually from Canva, because Canva's free, and they've got a really kind of limited like stock photo on a free plan. So you see the same people over and over and again, and it's like, that's not even. I know that where your practice is and the demographic of patient that you're trying to attract, that is not that person that's on that ad. So they doesn't resonate with the target audience at all. It's much better to use either pictures of the practice or pictures of the team, or actually nothing at all.
Yeah, you see that there's the same lady that you see everywhere. Like, I've seen her on social media, I've seen her on websites, I've even seen her on actual like physical billboards next to dental practices, and like that is crazy. Like this lady doesn't even just being that.
I mean, I hope
Imagine
she's
walking
making
around
a
there.
lot of money on it.
Yeah, I hope she's got some royalties. Um, It's absolutely fantastic. And I also find, like, depending on like what market you're in, so if you might be a UK dentist, but you might have like a very American dentist on your, in your photo. Like, I know dentists in the US don't always wear just scrubs. They might wear like, proper like white lab coats, whereas that we don't get that in the UK. So yeah, making sure that it actually reflects your practice is one thing. Yeah, like you said, I think I agree with the unpopular opinion. Like, you need your own. You should have your own photos. Whether and I think for social media, you're lucky you can get away with, iPhone photos. Camera phones have come a long way. So yeah, do what you can. So for anyone listening, that might not be ready to pull the trigger on maybe having someone like external do their social media, what are some ideas they can do to create content?
So definitely reels. So in fact, actually, reels have come a long way. I didn't realize until I actually did some research a couple of weeks ago that reels have been around for like 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, like I thought it was still a relatively new thing, but they're not. And we are seeing, I'm not sure if you're seeing the same. Mind you don't spend that much time on social media as I do, do you?
I don't really know.
So it used to be for the last 4 or 5 months that the quickest way to reach a bigger audience was to double down on reels. So a lot of clients literally only posted reels. And whilst that was providing a really good opportunity to reach a new audience, that's tailed off now. So I'm not sure if you've seen in the last 4 weeks, we've had something like 15 platform updates on Instagram alone. So with like broadcast channels, people being able to collaborate on carousels now, collaborators in broadcast channels. So, and every single time that they tweak or introduce a new feature, other features drop off because they try and force people to use this new feature to give it like the kudos and like the brand awareness that it needs to keep them on the platform. So I understand that. So it's really important that practices understand that, okay, reels are great. They might not reach the same numbers of plays and views as what they used to, say, 6 months ago, but it's still the number one way for you to connect and resonate with an audience. So content tips would be, even if you just post one reel a week, something that like a frequently asked question that patients are asking, or it could be something funny like meet the team, like, give me 2 truths and a lie, like make a game out of it, and then ask your patients to guess which one is the lie in the comments and try and drive some engagement that way. I love gamification. And then I think patient testimonials, patient reveals, smile reveals, bring in the emotion of the patient. Dentistry can be quite anxious causing or anxiety causing for patients because they have this fear that they're going to, the sound of the drill, or they're going to be in pain, or there's going to be pain afterwards. It's not going to be a pleasant experience. But we know dentistry has come a huge, long way from that. So actually showing patients, this is what we do. This is how we care for you. This is like the emotional journey that you'll go on, and this is the result that you'll get at the end.
Yeah, fantastic. Some great tips there. So I think that's a great great way to wrap today up. What you've got a couple of freebies, haven't you? You've got a couple of things that people can grab to help them with content creation.
So that's the biggest thing that we find is that people, well, say people, but dentists in particular, they know they've got to be on social media, but they kind of run out of ideas quite quickly, or they'll be present on social media for a couple of weeks and then it'll die off. And social media, like anything, is a long game. You have to be posting regularly, and you have to be posting regularly for a long period of time. So I have a free weekly secret email. So that goes out every Friday. I am testing the time. So this last week it went out at 6 a.m. The week before it went out at 5 p.m. just to see like which time is best for everyone. And on there you get a content prompt. So something that you can be thinking about for your content for the following week. A link to a blog. So it could be something industry-wise. It could be something dental related. It could be a link to my blog if it's useful. And then importantly, you get 3 trending audios. So trending audios are great for increasing your plays and your views on your reels. But there's a trick to using them. If you're using a trending audio that's got like 10,000 plays, you're not going to get as much reach based off that. So you want to try and find a pre-trending audio. So that's less than 2,000. I kind of go one step further and go for pre-trending. So a lot of the audios that I put in my newsletter are like 1,000 plays or less. So they're just about to kind of blow up. So if you can use those audios, then you're giving yourself the best opportunity to reach a much wider audience. And then there's a couple of links to my blog in there as well. So that goes out every Friday. And then also my 365 ultimate reels prompts for dentists. So literally, I think there's actually more than 365. I think there's like 380, but I didn't want to kind of take them out. I was like, it fits and it's all formatted really nice. I'll over deliver, it's fine.
Excellent. So you've got no reason. You don't have a shortage of ideas for reels. But actually, Hazel, go back to the trending audio. Like, what does that actually mean? Like, when you say you get more impressions by using trending audio, what does that mean? I think I've got an idea, but I don't know for certain.
So a trending audio is an audio track that, let's say, for example, you're a DJ, superstar mic DJ, and you release this audio on Instagram, and it gets a lot of plays really quickly. But then other people can use that piece of audio on their own reels. And then what happens is the reason why it works is when they click on the audio track, it brings all the other reels that have that track. So then they'll scroll through to kind of get a bit of inspiration or find a trend. And every time someone sees that reel, it counts as a play. And then that then tells the algorithm this reel is valuable. So then it distributes it to more people. That's how
Gotcha. Perfect. So it's kind of like, so you're kind of being tagged, almost like being tagged with a trending topic. And because of how the algorithm works, you'll probably show up in more feeds.
Yeah, so you show up in more feeds, but then it tells the algorithm that reel is, there's another kind of KPI called watch time. So that's why trending reels or reels that perform really well are 7 seconds or less, because you can get a lot of views in a very short space of time. So then that also tells the algorithm, okay, well, a lot of people are watching this in its entirety, which obviously then means it must also, it's paired with the trending audio, must be really valuable. So then it will then show it to more of your fans and followers and people who've interacted with your content and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Perfect. So yeah, so we'll make sure that we include those links to your your newsletter and your reels inspiration. We'll make sure that's included in the show notes. But any final words on content creation for our listeners?
If you're not doing it, you need to be doing it regularly. That's it.
Perfect. Right. You've been told. Perfect. If you're not creating content, you need to create content. And if you don't want to do it yourself, then talk to Hazel.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Perfect. Right. Thanks, guys. And until next week, see you later. Bye.